Hello, hello. So let's see what we got going on over here. It says here, seven old school dating rules we can't believe existed. Oh boy. Ooh, look at that. Look at the hair. Like, how long did that take? She was just going on a date too. You got the curling iron there, get a little bit of braid work on the top there. It's a mishmash of stuff. I've been appreciating hair lately since I was starting to get my hair braided. So got a little distracted. Dating has thankfully come a long way. Women now pay for their dates. I mean, I can't really say anything because a lot of women have paid for dates that I've been on, but that's very rare. Like I've been quite lucky. Most men don't get anything close to that. Women now drive their dates. Women now chase the guy. Well, women have always chased a guy, not as much as guys chased women, but they're like historically women have chased the one guy that they wanted while a bunch of other guys they don't want are chasing them. So that's not new. And women now driving their dates. I mean, they can drive, they have cars and it's convenient. Um, and a lot of women are scared of getting like stranded with somebody that they don't like on a date if the guy drives them. So it could be a safety thing. So that's not like for the benefit of the guy. That's probably for the benefit of her. And as far as paying for the dates, I think most likely it would happen if the woman asked the guy out, or she just wants to leave or whatever, or she wants to impress him. She could do it just to impress him. A lot of women don't know how to really impress guys, so they do the things that if a guy did it, she would like. So I can see that happening. Okay, what's over? The rules of dating game have changed 100%. Second that, we turn back the clock to dating dynamos, not dynamics, who investigated. Okay, so we're talking about people who navigated the relationship waters long before. Okay, let's get to it. What is this? Old school rules never ever make the first move. That is silly. That's one of the most silliest rules ever. And women are obviously they're going to follow that rule because most of them are shy anyways, and they are afraid of rejection, so they're going to follow it. It's the worst rule that a woman could follow because then now she's picking from from the guys that are willing to make the first move for her, which means that most of her options are going to be from the desperate to losers that have no other options, and maybe some guys that are good, but those guys might not have the right personality. They might not be tall enough. They might not have enough money. So you're limiting your options to the actual good options that are just like might not be something that you even want anyway. So now you're just stuck shuffling through a crappy deck of cards that you don't want. So you're better off making the first move. If you make the first move, all the other moves he's going to make. So just make the first move, make it clear. And then after that, all the other moves, you're judging him. You're still in the same position, but now you're just increasing your options, the quality of your options. So it's a terrible idea to tell women not to make the first move. That is exactly what they should do. Make the first move and make sure he makes all the other moves after that. That way you're still in the same position, but your quality improves. So yeah, that's a terrible thing right there. Uh, Always act ladylike. Um, yeah, yeah, that's not a bad rule because you would want a man to act like a gentleman on a date, right? Especially first impressions. You don't have to hold up that kind of thing throughout your entire relationship, but like in the beginning, if you're just trying to like court each other, then yeah, it's a good rule to follow. If you want gentlemanly behavior, you want to act ladylike. You can't just be like whatever and then you expect him to do some traditional stuff. Okay, so uh, always act coy. Terrible idea. That is a terrible idea. especially because of the consequence of that, because we had a whole bunch of generations of women acting coy and men being taught to to not give up and always pursue. And then now we're in the modern era where that can get somebody freaking arrested. They can go to jail, and the consequences is so much higher than anything positive that can possibly come from it. So now if a woman is acting coy, you're more likely to receive a negative response from the guy than what you were hoping for. So that is not a good idea. You want to show some interest, and you don't have to show all you don't have to show all your cards, but you have to show some interest so that he knows to at least pursue and to know that you're interested, but you're not set on him. So the coy a little bit, but at least show you're interested. She bats an eyelash. He cracks a joke. She sends a coy smile. Flirting was more covert than overt. Yeah. Let's see here. Never kiss and tell. Mm, yeah, I can see why that was a thing, especially back then, where there was like, especially where a lot of people were like in a small town, a small community where everybody kind of know each other. Doing that could kind of ruin your chances, especially as a woman with the next person. Especially if they're friends or whatever, they just know each other or whatever. So that's not a good idea. For the guys, you don't want to do it if you're like, if your aim is to be a player. If your aim is to just like sleep around with a bunch of chicks, that is a good rule. But if you're like, you want to settle with somebody and you want to get in a relationship, kissing and telling is not really that big of a deal. If you know people are together, you know that they're kissing or whatever. So it's not really that big of a deal if you're looking for a relationship. But if you want to like shop around your options, then yeah, don't kiss and tell. Mm, only date with matrimony in mind. Uh, that uh is a good idea. It is a good idea that I think ladies should follow nowadays, because it is there's you can have fun, but at the end of the day, you don't really gain anything from that. You can't retire off of fun. You can't those memories aren't gonna hold you through your latter years. Uh, but a marriage would. A marriage could get you a lot more than a bunch of hookups. So if you're doing a cost benefit analysis, you gain way more from marriage than you would ever get from multiple hookups. Uh, yeah, so that is a good idea. And if you're dating with matrimony in mind or marriage in mind, you will always you'll always keep your standards high, and you would only go after the top quality. You're not gonna just like have fun with some douchebag that you would never even look his way uh any other time. So let's see there. Never date outside your religion. It depends on the religion, right? Because a lot of them have similar values, so it wouldn't be that much of a problem, right? But in small communities where everyone is a certain religion, I guess it wouldn't like if you were a Mormon, you wouldn't. Anyways, it's one of those rules that yeah, that's outdated for a reason. Okay, what's the always date taller men? That's not possible. It's not possible. Um, because there's only so many tall men to go around, And women don't just want taller men because most men are taller than most women. They don't just want taller men. They want them to be like at least like 4 to 5 inches taller because they want to wear it's ridiculous because like they want tall men, but they also want to wear heels. So the guy has to be uh, uh taller than her in heels, which is seems counterproductive, but that's just how women work. They just like they want a tall guy, so they will wear heels. They want a rich guy, but they spend a lot of money, so then he's just gonna end up broke because he spent all his money. They, you know what I mean? They want a confident guy, but they want to sometimes take charge, and it's just like it's counterproductive. But that's you know what I mean. There's a difference between desire and and personality and upbringing and that kind of stuff. So yeah, always date taller guys. That is one way to put yourself in a position where you're going to be limiting your potential, right? Because you could have a great connection with someone that's not that tall and it could be great for you and you have a lot more potential for a future. And if you limit your options to just the taller guys, guess what? A lot of girls like taller guys and those guys have a lot of options and they might not take you seriously. So it's not a good idea. Anyways, this was educational. A lot of those old school um, dating rules are rules that exist today and I think would always kind of exist because it kind of goes towards biology, right? um it just goes with human nature and our nature is not going to change because there's no reason for it, right? Like what would be the evolutionary basis for that dynamic to change? There's no benefit to it changing, so it wouldn't change. Anyways, until next time.